The moons of Ithera hung low over the horizon, twin silver orbs glowing like watchful eyes against the endless velvet of space. Below them stretched the Valley of Rokar, a place known throughout the galaxy not for its beauty, but for the terrifying creature that ruled it. Few dared to enter, and fewer still returned to tell the tale. For it was here that the Kothor, the galaxy's wildest beast, made its lair. Legends claimed the Kothor was older than empires, a monster of fong and fury with scales harder than starship hulls and a roar that shattered mountains. To many alien civilizations, it was the embodiment of untamed chaos, proof that some things in the galaxy could never be controlled. But now, against the backdrop of the moons, a human stood. His name was Elias, a wanderer from the Terran colonies, known more for his stubbornness than any great power. He wore no armor save a worn leather jacket, no weapon save a simple energy blade strapped to his hip. His ship had crash-landed on Ithera 3 nights ago, and instead of fleeing, he had wandered deeper into the Forbidden Valley. High above him, perched on a ridge of jagged rock, an alien woman watched with disbelief. Her name was Serenia Valen, princess of the Velari Dominion, sent to Ithera on a mission of diplomacy. She had grown up with tales of the Kothor. Her people feared it as a god of destruction, one that could never be tamed, only avoided. When her scouts reported a human approaching the beast's territory, she expected to watch his inevitable death. Instead, she saw something that made her question everything she had ever believed. Middle. Elias crouched low near a pool of crystal blue water. He knew the Kothor was near. The air trembled with its presence, a low vibration in the bones, a primal warning. Animals had fled, even the insects gone silent. "Come on then," Elias whispered, his voice calm, as if speaking to a stray dog back on Terra. "I'm not here to hurt you." The shadows stirred. A massive shape emerged, blotting out the moonlight. The Kothor was larger than any beast Elias had seen. Scales shimmered like obsidian blades, its horns curved skyward like jagged crescents, and its eyes burned molten gold. It opened its mouth, rows of serrated teeth gleaming, and let out a roar that shook the valley floor. Serenia gripped the edge of the ridge so tightly her claws drew blood. No one survives this, she thought. Not even a fool human. But Elias did not run. He stood slowly, raising his empty hands to show he carried no threat. "Easy, big guy," he murmured, voice steady. "You've been alone a long time, haven't you? Always fighting, always feared. No wonder you're angry." The Kothor lowered its head, growling, each rumble like thunder. It pawed the ground, ready to strike. Serenia held her breath, expecting to see the human crushed in an instant. Instead, Elias stepped closer. Every instinct screamed at him to flee, but he had learned long ago that fear only made beasts more dangerous. Back on the Terran frontier, he had worked with wild drakes and sky serpents, earning their trust not with force but patience. This creature, for all its size and fury, carried the same pain he recognized in every cornered animal: loneliness. He whispered again, words soft like a lullaby. "You don't have to fight anymore." The Kothor's breath washed over him, hot and acrid. Its eye, massive as a shield, locked onto his. Elias did not blink, did not waver. Slowly, impossibly, the beast lowered itself to the ground, a deep rumble vibrating through its chest. Serenia gasped aloud. The Kothor was submitting. For the first time in recorded history, the galaxy's wildest beast had bowed its head to a human. The witness. When Elias finally turned, he found Serenia standing behind him, her silver armor gleaming under the moons. Her violet eyes were wide with disbelief. "You," her voice trembled. "You calmed it." No species has ever done this. Not the Velari, not the Zyrrak Hunters, not even the Drow warlords who tried to enslave it. Elias shrugged as though it were nothing. It's just an animal. Scared, angry, tired of being treated like a monster. Sometimes you just have to listen instead of shouting. Serenia stepped closer, her long dark hair flowing in the wind. You do not understand, human. The Kothor is not merely an animal. It is legend. Entire wars have been fought to avoid its territory. Empires bend their maps around this valley. And you walk in, speak a few words, and it obeys you. Elias gave a crooked smile. Guess no one ever tried asking nicely. But Serenia knew it was more than that. She had studied humans. Fragile, short-lived creatures compared to most races of the galaxy. Yet time and again they achieved the impossible, not through strength of body but through will. Something about Elias's presence, his calm defiance of fear, had reached the beast in a way nothing else ever had. The danger ahead. Word spread quickly. Serenia's guards, who had followed her trail, arrived in shock at the sight, the Kothor resting peacefully beside a human. Within days, rumors raced across the sector. A man had tamed the untamable. But not all who heard were awed. The Zyrrak clans, warlike hunters who once prided themselves on attempting to kill the Kothor, saw Elias as a threat to their honor. If a mere human could control the beast, their centuries of boasting meant nothing. They swore vengeance, declaring that either Elias or the creature must die. Serenia urged Elias to leave Ithera before warships descended. But the human shook his head. I didn't come this far to walk away, he said, resting a hand against the Kothor's obsidian scales. This creature's been feared long enough. Maybe it's time people learned it's not a curse. It's part of this galaxy too. Serenia's heart twisted. She had come to Ithera expecting to witness a fool's death, but now she found herself admiring this stubborn man. Against every law of nature and every warning of her people, he had built a bridge where none thought it possible, and she could not let him stand alone. Ending. The Zyrrak came at dawn. A fleet of blackened warships descended through the skies, weapons charged. On the valley floor, Elias stood with Serenia at his side, the Kothor looming behind them like a living mountain. The Zyrrak leader snarled from his ship's loudspeakers. The beast dies today, and the human with it. Missiles streaked down, exploding against the valley walls. The Kothor roared, shaking the heavens, but instead of rampaging, it looked to Elias. The human placed a hand on its snout. Not today, friend. Let's show them. With a single command, Elias leapt onto the Kothor's back. The creature surged upward, wings unfurling like titanic sails of black steel. Together they soared into the sky, dodging blasts, striking ships with its horned head and tail. Serenia coordinated her guards, using her fleet to protect the valley while Elias and the beast broke the Zyrrak lines. The battle was fierce, but within hours the Zyrrak fled, their pride shattered. No one could claim mastery over the Kothor now, save the human who had earned its trust. Choice. When the smoke cleared, Serenia stood beside Elias as the Kothor lowered itself to rest. Her eyes glimmered with awe. You changed everything, she whispered. The galaxy will never see this creature the same way again. Elias gave a tired smile. Didn't change everything. Just proved fear doesn't have to win.